Hey guys, what's up? It's Ivy. So today I'm going to be teaching you about combustion, right? What it means to have a combust planet in your chart. So let's get started. So what is combustion? Combustion is when a planet is conjunct the sun and it's within 8 degrees. Now, there's also something called under the sun's beams, which is when a planet is within 15 degrees of the sun. It's also a little challenging, but we'll talk about that in another lesson. So combustion is considered an accidental debility. That means it makes things harder or it makes things challenging. If you see life as things that you like and things that you don't like, right? Combustion would be the thing that you don't like. The reason why combustion is something that you don't like is because when a planet is close to the sun, that planet is either about to be reborn or it's about to die. There is something called synodic cycle, which is kind of complicated, so I'll talk about that in a different lesson. But essentially, the sun gives light and life to the planets. And since the sun gives life, it can also take life. When a planet is combust, it's basically like that planet is on its deathbed or that planet is a newborn. So think about it this way. Think about when you are on your deathbed, right? Think about how weak and vulnerable and ineffective you are. And also the same when you're a newborn, like you are super vulnerable, you can't do anything for yourself, and you can't really make things happen because you're just not strong enough. When a planet is combust, that planet's power is substantially diminished. Like that planet can't do what it's supposed to do, right? That planet can't do what it wants to do because it's not strong enough. So here are some of the themes that you'll see with combustion, right? You're going to see themes of death and rebirth, themes of helplessness, themes of blindness, ignorance, succumbing. There will be like a need to reclaim power or a need to find your identity or a need to let go. If you know Pluto, right? Many of the themes that you see with Pluto, like death and rebirth. So in ancient astrology, since they hadn't discovered Pluto yet, those themes of death and rebirth, they actually came from the sun because the sun has the power to give life and also take life. There are other themes that come with combustion, but it's really just that sense of I am so weak, I am so vulnerable, I can't help myself. I've just been born. I don't know how to act. I don't know what to do. I'm a little naive. I'm a little ignorant. Or the sun is so bright. I can't see anything. I'm a little blind. I can't find my way. Or I'm old. I'm about to die. I've got to succumb. I've got to let go. I've got to accept the inevitable. Or, I've just been reborn. So now I have to find my identity. I have to find my power. I have to reclaim my power. Every planet can be combust. If you use the outer planets, those can also be combust. The only planet that cannot be combust is the moon. The moon can't be combust because when the moon is conjunct the sun, we call it a new moon. So let's see how this plays out in a birth chart. So it is very common in charts to have Venus combust or to have Mercury combust. That's because Venus and Mercury are always pretty close to the sun. Now in this chart, we see that Mercury is conjunct the sun within 3 degrees. And we also see that Venus is conjunct the sun within 3 degrees. So both Mercury and Venus are combust. So how do you translate this in your chart? The first way is to translate it by the natural topics of Mercury and Venus. And the second way to translate this is by the houses that Mercury and Venus rule. The third way is to interpret it based on what house the combustion is taking place in. I know that Mercury is about communicating and sharing ideas. So in this person's chart, it may be hard for them to speak. It may be hard for them to be heard. It may be hard for them to share what's on their mind. Mercury rules cognition. So if I was to interpret this like someone's health, maybe there are some cognitive issues going on. Maybe there are some coordination issues. Maybe this person struggles to find just the right words to say what they want to say. Now, the next way that you can interpret it is by going with the houses that Mercury rules. So in this chart, Mercury rules the 6th house and the 9th house. So we know that the 9th house is about spirituality and travel and education and all that stuff. Maybe this person has had a hard time figuring out what they want to study in school. Maybe they really struggled in university. Maybe religion is a sensitive topic in their life. Maybe they have a pattern of getting lost when they travel. Like, that blindness, like they don't know where they are. They don't know what to do. They are susceptible to being taken advantage of when they are a foreigner in a different country. There's lots of different ways that you can interpret that. And if we go to interpret it by the 6th house, I know that the 6th house is a house of suffering or feeling like a slave to your circumstances and even health problems. I would think this person could have some issues with their health, like have some chronic health issues. Maybe they have health issues that they don't know about, like maybe they live their life with these like chronic aches and pains, but they don't know that they're like health issue related because, Mercury next to the sun can be blind. Like, I don't know what's going on. I can't see what's going on. Maybe doctors can't always see what's going on too. Lots of ways that you can take this. But now let's look at Venus. Venus combust is going to be issues with love, issues in relationships, issues experiencing pleasure or giving pleasure, issues with women, issues relaxing, issues with creativity. I want to be in a relationship, but I don't know how. I want commitment, but I don't know how to let go and trust. I feel very helpless in relationships. My partner doesn't see me. He doesn't understand my needs. I don't know what my needs are. Connecting with another person doesn't come natural to me. And if we were to interpret Venus based on the houses, Venus rules the 10th house and also rules the 5th house. I know that the 10th house is the house of work. So this could be like, I'm not seen at work. I'm not appreciated at work. I feel helpless at work. My boss overpowers me. I don't know what my career is. I've been fired in the past. I've had shitty things happen to me at work. And if I were to interpret it by the 5th house, I know that the 5th house is the house of children, sex, dating, creativity, hobbies, leisure time. I don't have the best relationship with my children. My children will face some challenges in their life. My pregnancy or the process of becoming a parent is a little harder for me. Romance and sex and dating are things that don't come natural to me. There are lots and lots of ways that you can interpret this. But the most important thing to remember is that combust planets are like newborns, or they're like people on their deathbed. It is hard for these planets to do what they want to do because their power is limited. And remember that this doesn't have to be bleak, because this is about death and rebirth. So you can always reassure yourself or your client that in the future, you will find your voice. You will find your way. You will overcome. You will grow up. You will become wise. You will find your power. The more distance that a planet puts between itself and the sun, the more that planet will regain its power. Look at Venus separating from the sun like this. Venus is becoming stronger because it's moving away from the sun and it's reclaiming its own power. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments and I will answer them for you.